On September 7th of this year, Ben Tinker of CNN did a report on a man who suffered from internet addiction named Van Cleve. Van Cleve stated he was playing online games for up to 80 hours a week. He saw a decreased relationship with not only his family, but the other relationships that he had built in his life as well. Van Cleve likens his addiction to that of alcoholism. Does this sound like a serious problem? I'd say so, especially since the internet is such an important part of today's society. I'd say this problem needs deep examination, and we must find the proper solution to help those who suffer from it. As we always internet every day, we must know about the possibility of addiction. Increased use of internet over the years has made us more and more reliant on it, so therefore we must know what a healthy level of internet usage is. Since the internet addiction can be so detrimental to our lives, we must know exactly what it is and what a healthy level of internet usage is. First, we'll talk about what internet addiction is and what it looks like. Then we look at some of the causes. And finally, I'll present a challenge to all of you involving internet usage. First, let's talk about exactly what internet addiction is and what it looks like. Now, when it comes to internet addiction, it is important to know exactly what the term internet addiction means and what some of the symptoms are. Alice Walton of Forbes magazine on October 2nd of 2013 wrote, "A person with internet addiction will experience preoccupation with the internet or internet gaming, withdrawal symptoms when the internet is no longer present, tolerance, meaning they need more and more use of the internet to achieve the same high, loss of other interests, unsuccessful attempts to quit, and the use of internet to improve or escape dysphonic moods." Now, I don't know about you, but to me this sounds very similar to the problems of that of drug and alcohol. As internet addiction can reach heightened levels of other addictions like drugs and alcohol, which are very deadly, it is important that we research this problem and find the proper solution to help those who suffer from this problem. According to an article on helpguide.org by an unknown author on an unknown date, mental signs of internet addiction include having trouble completing tasks at work or at home, isolation from family or friends, losing track of time online, and feeling guilty or defensive about internet usage. Now, I know after reading that list, a lot of you might be freaking out thinking you're internet addicts. However, calm down. It is only whenever these become a repeated habit that it truly becomes a problem. We all have those days where the internet runs our life for whatever reason, and those are fine, as long as we keep them under control and at a moderate level. Helpguide.org also explores the physical symptoms of internet addiction in their article, and these include carpal tunnel syndrome, dry eyes or strained vision, back and neck aches, sleep deprivation, and pronounced weight loss or weight gain. Now, I know none of these are desirable traits, and I'm sure none of you want these in your life, so therefore we must avoid getting addicted to the internet. If you've noticed any of these symptoms in your internet usage, I encourage you to sit down and examine your usage and see if you need to tone it back at all. Now that we have talked about exactly what internet addiction is and what it looks like, let's look at some of the causes. Now, when it comes to the causes of internet addiction, there are two. They are biological and social. According to an unknown author of an article in Times of India on November 30th, 2012, when talking about the neurological reason for internet addiction and connecting it to other disorders, they state that it seems that this connection is not only essential for nicotine addiction, but for internet addiction as well. To be able to connect the problem of internet addiction to something so common and widespread in America, such as nicotine addiction, helps you realize just how common and widespread internet addiction is, and that we need to research it and find the proper solution. This could also serve as a breakthrough for scientists in finding this connection between nicotine and internet. According to an article by Jennifer Chait from Love and Recovery on January 18, 2012, when discussing internet relationships, she says, an internet-addicted individual will develop highly emotional attachments to online pals or even online dating. She then goes on to state, online relationships can feel attractive to some because it is less risky than talking to people face to face. Now, today's society has been characterized as having less social skills than previous generations, so therefore it's important for us to learn how to talk to people face to face, and the internet is hindering this ability. Now, the internet can be used to catch up with old friends or even meet new people. However, it should not be used to overcome our insecurity of getting up and talking to a person face to face. Now that we see the causes of internet addiction, let's see what we can do about it. Now, it wouldn't be right for me to sit up here and say everyone stop using the internet. That would not be practical and it would not work, as the internet is such an important part of our work, school, and many other things in today's society. So therefore, in helpguide.org's article, they highlight some of the practical ways to handle your internet usage. They state we should keep a log of when we're on the internet, so therefore at the end of the day we can sit down and see just how much time we actually spent on the internet. They also state we should set out certain times throughout the day that we're going to use the internet and not allow ourselves to go over this. The final piece of advice they give us is to replace our internet activity with something healthy, such as exercise. Now, I know all of you might not be internet addicts, but I encourage you to try to implement one of these when it comes to your internet usage. You can discover a life outside the internet that you really never knew existed. Now, if your internet usage does get out of hand, it might be necessary for you to get help from an outside source. Jennifer Chait highlights this in her article, and she says, your best support may come from your personal doctor. He or she may be able to pinpoint just why you have become addicted and can also offer support. She also states Internetaholics Anonymous offers both online and offline treatment options. Now, when people get addicted to something, they think there's no way out. However, for internet addiction, there's always help and you can always find a way out. If you know anyone who suffers from the symptoms I've stated earlier, or you personally do, I challenge you to get that person or yourself help. I also challenge all of you to sit down and examine your internet usage and make sure that it's at a healthy level and cannot damaging your life. Even though today's society encourages us to use the internet nonstop, we must be able to manage it. Now, by making sure our internet usage is at an acceptable level, we live much more enjoyable lives. After examining what internet addiction is and what it looks like, what some of the causes of internet addiction are, and what we can do about it, I hope you realize just how dangerous the internet can be if you don't get it under check and use it at a healthy level. Now back to Van Cleef, who I talked about in Tinker's article at the beginning. He states, alcoholics can stay out of bars and restaurants that serve booze, but an internet addiction is like an eating disorder. Whether we like it or not, the internet is always going to be part of our lives. We're going to need it for work, for school, and a variety of different other things. Therefore, we must be able to use it at a healthy level that will not damage our lives